Welcome. Get ready, folks. What we're going to see during this video today is a live stream by a teen stalking suspect accused of the red rum of two teen girls. It all happened in New Jersey. It's a tragic, heartbreaking case. It seems like something that could have been prevented. There's several layers to the story, but what you're going to see and what we're going to go through is his live stream, what he is saying after the deaths of these two girls, because he goes live on his social media. He's a gamer, and people start messaging him and accusing him and going after him. And that particular video, most of his videos have a few views. This one has hundreds of thousands of views because this is him afterwards. And then he gets arrested the next day. So this is going to be a pretty intense, what we're going to see here. I'm Vinny Politan. I am the host of two programs on Court TV every night from 8 to 10, live true crime, only guy in the business doing it. This is the Tangent Podcast. We've got also with us Al Wunsch III, Esquire.
Hola, Tangentistas.
Also with us, radio legend, the one and only Jonesy.
Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Yes, and we haven't been together for a little bit because I was in Italy, but I am back. Still a little head fog, working through it. But get ready, folks. This is the Tangent Podcast.
It's Vinny and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast. Vinny has the blue eyes, Al cracks the jokes. Jonesy stays behind his shades, entertaining all the folks. It's Vinny and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast. Load up all your comments, hit those super chats. Let's go smash that like button, so we can all have a blast. Vinny, Al, and Jonesy on the job. They're the Sugar Hill Gang of true crime. They're telling stories of days gone by. They take crime and turn into a good old time. It's Vinny and the Tangents, True Crime Podcast.
Here we go. Let's get to it. The story, Isabella and Maria, two girls from New Jersey, just out riding their bikes, but apparently Maria had an ongoing issue with someone who was stalking her, and the allegation is that stalker, that 17-year-old, is the one responsible for their deaths. So that's where we're beginning in all of this. I don't know, maybe you guys want to give a little background on where this is taking place in New Jersey. That might be helpful for folks so they get an idea.
It's a very nice area. I believe it's Union County. It is very, I mean, middle class, upper middle class area. Homes, all single family homes. The Clark High Schools are in that area and stuff like that. They're all really, it's a very nice neighborhood, and it's a very quiet neighborhood. I can tell you that, in enclave, it's just some real pretty towns, real good restaurants, and, everybody seems to know each other.
Yeah. When I lived in New Jersey, we lived close by. We were in Warren, which was a little bit west of this area, but Westfield was a town where we would go to. That's connected. Cranford's a little bit, another town over. But they're small New Jersey communities, so you go from town to town to town very easily. Sometimes you don't even know which community you're in.
It's kind of a sleepy community, I would say.
Yeah,
I went kayaking through there once. They rent kayaks, and there's a little stream. You actually go through people's backyards, pretty much, and it seemed quite quaint. And of course, like most places in New Jersey, has a great hot dog joint on Five Corners.
There you go. So I want to get right to this live stream because I think there's going to be a lot of points where we're going to want to stop and talk a little bit about what he's saying. I've pixelated his face. He put himself out there.
Can I just throw one little, Westfield is also famous for the the John List murders.
Yes.
Oh,
Remember
right, right. That
John
was
List?
actually in the news this week. There's a movie coming out about it, right?
Yeah, John List was there had been a movie. I believe it was
With Beretta.
Beretta had played his role. But John List was the individual who had red rummed his family and then had left them there and disappeared and formed a new life. And that was such a huge shock to Westfield, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, because like nothing like that had ever happened before. The families all knew each other. The families all went to the same church. The families all went to the same restaurants. All the families kind of knew each other, knew the kids, knew everything. And then that happens, and he disappears, and then we know what happens later. America's Most Wanted. They end up finding him. But I just wanted to throw that. That's another little whisper.
Yeah, there was a recent movie about that. About I'm trying to remember something about like a haunted house or something in Westfield, and it was somehow connected, or may have not been connected. Anyhow, Westfield's one of the towns. Cranford is the main town, and Garwood is another town. So those are the three communities, all in the general same area, but they're all connected, and you'll find out why. So what I've done here on this live stream is, it was blurry to begin with because he had a little picture of himself in the YouTube because he's a gamer. The lighting wasn't great, but I pixelated his face anyway. He's 17 years old. He's been named by most of the mainstream media covering it. And the name is actually important to the story. But let's begin. Remember, this is after the two girls, and this is obviously the biggest story in the community. It starts as a hit and run, right? Because the person responsible drives away in their SUV.
And I'm not authorized to talk about the whole thing. So I'm going to do this in 5 minutes right now. So me and Evan have played co-op since, well, not co-op, but we've streamed MLB since 2020. And we made a lot of memories in the past. And it has been a fun, long ride. But I need to explain some things that have happened over the past few days. And I'm not going to talk much about it, but in a neighboring town, unfortunately, 2 girls were killed in a hit-and-run crash. Now, there has been a lot of misinformation going on over the internet, but I will say this. I wish my sincerest condolences to those 2 girls lost in that tragic accident. Okay? It is an absolute unfortunate situation, and there's more to the story that you're not getting. But when the time comes, I will explain it in greater detail. I'm not authorized to talk about the whole thing. I'm not going to give you any more information. But I will say this, okay? Making threats against my family will not be tolerated. My cousin has received hateful messages over social media about this whole spiel, and he's had to unfollow me on everything because of this whole drama. Why are you guys getting him involved? It's one thing, okay, if you hate me, you hate me. If you don't, you don't. You're opening up Pandora's box, getting family involved. And
all right, let's start there. Jonesy, what do you think of his tone, first of all? Like the way he's been streaming for 5 years. So he's been, live on YouTube and TikTok and everywhere else for 5 years. What's your gut telling you?
Well, he seems pretty calm, and it doesn't really, strike me. Had I not had more information, doesn't really strike me that he may have may have been involved in this situation. Knowing what I do know, it strikes me as idiotic that he's even doing this.
No, I'm glad he is. I'm
glad
glad he is.
Yeah.
Al, what are you hearing from this
Well, first, I just want to
17-year-old.
pick up one point that you had brought up a little bit earlier. I think you were talking about a book or a movie that was called The Watcher.
Yeah, The Watcher.
That took place in Westfield regarding a family that was receiving these letters about the house that they were in, and that the house was haunted, and the creepy neighbors and things along those. And I believe that there was like a John List type character in that book. And so that was The Watcher, which is I believe it was on Netflix. You can watch it there. But the situation here is a kid who has far too much time on his hands and is getting on there because he thinks he's important. If you'll hear this message, which he said was 5 minutes, which goes for almost 22 minutes, I think. And, in it, he talks about how he's built up his name and his site and all that other kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and
you'll hear that. The thing about his voice, and I think you struck the right chord here, Al, is that this feeling of importance, that he is someone. And I think it's the power that he gets because he's streaming and there are some people paying attention to him. Now, I guess his big following is not on YouTube because the numbers were really low there, but it makes him like, this is where he feels like he's someone, right? Like, I'm someone here. I'm in charge of this. We've been doing this and da-da-da.
Even the comment he makes about, will not be tolerated.
Right.
Like, who the hell are you to say that? I mean, that's what you're able to say when you're, some guy in power, and you can say, you mess with me and there's going to be consequences. He's a pipsqueak.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's been bullied his entire life, according to what.
Well, he's gonna talk about that, but he mentions a cousin, and this is important. Right. This is important. This is how the connection comes in, because the story, we're getting bits and pieces because it's New Jersey. He's 17. He hasn't been charged as an adult yet. Some states immediately, like Florida, they'll charge him as an adult. Boom, boom, boom. New Jersey, I think that they still do it the same way, right? There has to be a hearing. He's got to be waived up.
They've got 60 days to file. 60 days from the arrest to file the waiver up.
Right. So that's why his face was already blurred, but I'm pixelating it even more just because he hasn't officially been charged as an adult in New Jersey yet. And so I'm just doing it because of his age, right? So his cousin, and I believe that his cousin's father is a police chief.
Right.
I believe that. And so what happened was, I guess, the way the World Wide Web is and social media, people are connecting all of this, and the story sort of grew. They went after the cousin, and then they went after the cousin's father, who I believe is the police chief of Westfield. And I think the allegation basically is that this kid that you're looking at here has been stalking this girl for months, and nothing is happening because he's being protected. And I think that was the internet allegation against the chief. So I just want to put up, because the chief did respond to that. So I want to get that up quickly. So we, let me just find it.
When he says he's not authorized, that's kind of weird, because the only person that can prevent you from talking about such a thing would be your own attorney or something like that.
Or yourself.
Your parents,
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to make this larger. I'm going to put us over here. Okay. This is the message from the Westfield chief. Like many of you, I am shocked, stunned, and so overwhelmingly distressed beyond belief by the horrific loss of two young ladies which occurred in the township of Cranford on Monday night. Not only did my police officers and I urgently respond to this incident to aid our law enforcement partners in Cranford, but I reside in the very neighborhood where it occurred. While social media has made it known that the accused is related to me, he is not my son, not a member of my immediate family. I want to be clear, as loud and as firm as possible, that in no way do my wife, children, or I condone, defend, or excuse the actions that caused this terrible and tragic loss of life. I've been forced to remain silent so as to allow the Union County Prosecutor's Office and the Cranford Police Department time to conduct a thorough and complete investigation, without any outside interference. Now that criminal charges have been filed and an arrest has been so rightly made, I now offer you this statement. So this is him. And I guess his family was probably being attacked in all of this because the rumors are spread very quickly on social media. People know the players involved here. And he's got the same last name, apparently, as the accused in this case. So
what do you read into an arrest has been so rightly made? The word rightly.
I think he's saying like I'm not protecting this kid. Like
Yeah.
this kid deserves to be arrested. He's very likely responsible for all of this. I mean, they have ring video of the vehicle.
Right.
I mean, they're going to have cell phone. I mean, you're going to have everything that you need. It's not a tough case to solve, I don't believe, in today's world. Plus the ongoing situation. But I think the big deal here, Al, and let's talk about this right now off the top so people understand restraining orders in New Jersey and enforcement of restraining orders if you have one, in fact. And because I think the allegations here were that this kid was somehow being protected. Now, I don't think that's the case. I don't have any proof of that, but the people who have spoken from the neighborhood and friends have said that this has been an ongoing problem. So why would this be an ongoing problem in New Jersey? And how could this girl have been protected?
Okay, now I mean I'm hearing mixed rumors as to whether or not there had been some sort of a dating relationship between one of the young ladies and this guy. But in New Jersey, restraining orders are not easily granted, and they can only be granted under two circumstances. One, well, there has to be an act of some sort of violence, okay, or threats or something along those lines. But you have to have a dating relationship or you have to have a familial relationship. Those are the only two types of cases that will allow a restraining order. I hear people all the time that say I'm getting annoyed by my neighbor and I want to file a restraining order. And I'm like, you can't do that unless you're going to say you were dating the neighbor. And if you don't have that, you're not going to get a restraining order in New Jersey. Now,
here's the question. Here's the question everyone's thinking right now. Well, what do you do if somebody is stalking you and someone is following you if you didn't have a dating relationship, but they, from afar or whatever, or maybe you're someone it's a public figure or something and someone's following you around.
Right. Well, there are charges that can be filed under those circumstances, such as harassment. There also can be stalking. Stalking is an independent charge in New Jersey, and it is a criminal charge. And a lot of times it gets downgraded to harassment, which would then be a petty disorderly persons offense. But even under a petty disorderly persons offense, generally any type of release will require you cannot have any contact, a non-contact order signed by the judge. Okay, so that would have the same value as a restraining order. Okay, because if the person then showed up in front of my house or had made calls to me or had done something, sent me something on the overnet internet, you could at that point in time go to the police station, say that they violated their conditions of release or conditions of bail. Even though we don't have bail in New Jersey, in municipal court offenses, the judge can put strictures and requirements. So if you violate that, you're violating a court order, and you could be arrested immediately for that. And then
what happens? What happens in the next situation? Let's say she's got the restraining order. They had a dating relationship. They broke up. She got the restraining order, and he's like parking in front of her house.
That would be covered in the restraining order. You can't park.
How do you get it enforced?
You just go. You go to the police. You go to the police, and he'd be arrested.
911 call.
It would be a 911 call. Yeah, I mean, what happens is this in New Jersey: when you get a restraining order,
police have any discretion in enforcing?
No,
you have the order, and the person's parked in front of your house. What's going to happen?
There's no discretion. So what ends up happening is this: when you get a restraining order, you are instructed to send a copy of that to the police department of not only where you live, but also where you work or where you go to school. So those departments are on notice. They have that there. So if you call them and say that car is parked in front of me and I know it's him, okay, they'll be there in a second and he'll be arrested immediately. And
He should
he
be
will
arrested.
go to jail. He will go to jail and he'll sit in jail for a minimum of 72 hours while the prosecutor's office decides what they want to do with him. And he will be prosecuted for that violation. So, I mean, Jersey is very strict.
So to me, that's the confusing part of this, right? If there's a restraining order and he continued to follow her, harass her, park in front of the house for 3 months, why wasn't he being arrested? I think that's the unknown here.
Now that's the unknown, but it also is they're not, you're not getting a police car in front of your house, okay, because you have a restraining order. You have an affirmative duty to make a phone call.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know why. We don't know if police weren't called, if police were called and they didn't enforce it. I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions at this point, and there's going to be a lot of rumors on the internet. And some of those rumors were pointed towards the police chief, which is why I wanted to get his statement up there, because he has the same last name as the kid.
That said, I mean, I can tell you with experiences that I've had. I actually dated a girl from Cranford, when I was in law school.
Of course he did, Glenn.
Well, okay, Christine Monteleone, if she's watching.
Of course you did.
So the police there are very strict. They have that whole area. The police are very, very strict. They have a great municipal.
They're not going to look the other way. I don't see that someone in a scenario like that could be protected.
Can't be. It would never happen. And you know what? The fact that
that would be such a violation.
And the fact that he's got some connection to the police chief is going to make it even worse. Harsh.
Yeah. That's why I take it with a huge grain of salt. But those are some of the allegations that we're finding out there. Let's get to more now of the live stream here.
That just does not sit right with me. So I figured I'd make a statement about what happened. And I want to address something else, okay? Because this is a very serious incident that happened. And I really don't even know if I should be streaming this right now, but I have built a great following on TikTok with 39,000 followers that I have grown since 2020. And I want to thank each and every single one of y'all. I love you all to absolute death. And regardless of what happens, if you don't see me streaming for a little bit, you'll understand why. But this will be in the hands of Jesus. Everything will be okay. I will get this sorted out. And I plan to keep continuing playing co-op with my best friend, Evan. He has stuck by me through the whole side, and I want to thank him for that. Without my loyal friend playing co-op with me, I wouldn't be streaming YouTube right now. So
he has at least one friend.
Who's now going to be changing his name to Fritz.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. That poor friend. So again, people are asking, why is it pixelated? Again, he's 17 years old and the case has not made its way yet to adult court in New Jersey. It's not automatic. It's done. The prosecutors have to go in front of a judge. Judge has to make a ruling on it. So that he has to be waived up. So until he gets waived up, I'm going to have it pixelated today. That's the only reason why. But even the regular video is very blurry to begin with, because it was a tiny picture of him as a gamer. Let's continue. Go ahead, Al.
Once again, it's this indignant tone that he has.
Yeah.
This William F. Buckley way of trying to get across his point and making it so, well, you haven't heard, there's more going on, this, that, the other thing, and basically who I am, who you're messing with, and it's just bizarre. I mean,
to me, it's chilling, right? Like, to me, it's very chilling. And I'm wondering if he was always like this, with this attitude. And to me, that I would have been even more scared for my daughter if I knew if this is the way he always acted, because it's kind of creeping people out.
Well, because you've got a kid who's been, who's been a victim of bullies and everything else. But
He says he has been.
Well, he says he has. But what I'm saying is, but here, he's in control.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, like, this is his chance. This is his venue. This is his vista in order to show people how cool he is, how tough he is, how self-assured he is, how positive he is, and how popular he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he can't pull that off in the school bus. He can't pull that off in the schoolyard. Can't pull it off in the cafeteria because he's laughed at. Okay. From the impression I'm getting, from what I've, heard from him and things along those lines, this is his chance to just show you how important he actually is. And it's chilling. It is very, very chilling.
I just don't know. And here are the two victims, Isabella and Maria, two young girls. If you don't know, like, I don't know if he's changed or if he's always this way, but I heard from the family. I think it was Maria's family spoke outside of the church, and they're so heartbroken, but they were so proud of her and what she was doing, the plans she had, what she wanted to do. Like, she had focus, she had purpose. Her mother kept saying she had fire, right? That's the way she described her, a go-getter. And it's so, it's very, I look at these cases and I'm like, it seems like, though, this could have, because, like, the warning flags are there. It's not out of the blue. To me, that's the part that's frustrating me, Al, is that it's not just out of the blue. Like, it's predictable, which to me means it's potentially preventable.
Well, yeah, I heard, that the school had been warned of this, and that the school had told him he couldn't harass her, and that he had to stay away, things along those lines. So, I mean, this was not out of the blue, like you said. This was something that was, just, they're saying premeditated and everything along those lines.
Yeah.
Where do you snap to the point where you take a motor vehicle and aim it at two young girls? Okay. I mean, like, how do you get to that point that you think you have the right, or that you can't, this is the only way you can handle this is by taking a weapon, which is that vehicle, and speeding into two young girls and ending their lives? Just horrible.
And then going on a live stream.
And then going and making it sound like, I'm not the one, the Alfred E. Newman, what, me worry? I'm not worried. You shouldn't be worried either, because I've got everything under control.
Word of the
In my
story,
little world, I have.
but again, authorized to comment on it, and I want to thank each and every single one of you guys that have stuck by me through this whole thing. And I want to address one more thing, okay? I really think there needs to be more done to address mental health in this state.
Whoa.
Because,
Jonesy, you woed.
Yeah, because here he is, seemingly proclaiming that everything's cool, I did nothing kind of deal. I mean, more or less, he's saying that if you read between the lines. And now he's going to talk about mental health. Well, whose mental health? Was this an accident by a person who drove away? Or was there some sort of mental health situation involved? And if there was, how would he know unless he was the one with the mental problem?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain this, dude. I've been bullied, ridiculed, and stuff over false allegations, okay? Over this whole thing about things that have happened in the past. There's more to this story. It'll come out in the future.
I think here he's talking about the stalking. I think because this thing is fresh, right? The hit and run, whatever you want to call it, had just happened but he's talking about this ongoing thing, which would be the allegations, I believe, of the stalking and whatever was going on between him and Maria. So that seems to be what he's talking about, and that more will come out about that.
Well, I also think it's the school. I think that, you know, that the school situation.
But he seems to say he's being bullied about these allegations. Like, he's
Well,
not
but-
like it's like the kid who's getting bullied for no reason. He's
No,
getting
but-
bullied because of the stalking.
But he's getting, but you know, he's setting himself up as the victim, okay? Because no one believes him, okay, as to what this individual was doing to him. Okay,
Right.
they take her side all the time. When I'm in school, you know, I get called down to the principal's office. I get reprimanded. I get, you know, whatever punishment. And when I say, listen, it's not me, it's her, they don't want to hear that. Okay, it's not that situation. And his mental health thing, I think he's going to be dealing that not with him, but with her. And that she's the one that set this whole thing up. She's the one that was bullying him. She was the one that was destroying his life. Okay. And no one believed him.
That's
Okay.
gonna be
Isn't
a
that,
story.
isn't that a common thing in situations like this, where it's not me, it's her?
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's not necessarily common, but I mean, it's certainly, to me, this guy has too much self-righteousness.
All right. So let's take that for a second. How does that play out in a courtroom? Is it relevant?
It's not going to go well. I
Is
mean,
is it relevant at sentencing? Is it relevant for mitigation of, you know, red rum to manslaughter? Is any of that?
It may. I don't think it's going to go to that level, but I mean, it is that type of, like law 101 thinking that this kid may be just saying, listen, I'm the one who's been, you know, tortured throughout this process. And that it finally, you know, I snapped because I was sick and tired of the fact that everyone believed her and no one believed me. I mean, I don't know anything about whether or not that's actually true, but I'm just taking a look at his demeanor.
What he's saying, yeah. What's going on?
And how he's going forward on this. And that I can see him in school saying, why are you coming after me? Why am I the one who's got to now go to another school? Why am I the one that can't, you know, be in the same classroom as her? She's the one that is attacking me. She's the one who turned all the kids in the school against me. She's the one who's telling people that I'm a weirdo, I'm this, I'm that, and the other thing. And that, you know, she's deranged. I'm just the victim.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is his, you know.
That doesn't, I think you're right. It doesn't help you in a courtroom at all.
It's not going to help at all.
It doesn't tantamount to a mental disease or defect. It's not a mitigating factor. It's just, you know, who he is. I'll tell you what, I don't think this case plays for any sort of a deal. Even if he's 17, I don't think there's going to be a deal. I think this is going to be too high profile. If you're a prosecutor, this is not the case where you go lightly. This is a double red rum, planned, plotted according to the prosecution theory. So I don't think this is. I think this one's going to go to trial. I think it's going to trial.
It's the real key to all of this is going to be whether it gets bumped up to the adult court.
Oh, it has to.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to. Okay, but I mean, because the differences in the potential punishment, I mean, are night and day.
Night and day.
Night and day. Because if he stays in the juvenile court, now I doubt it, because I think his birthday is next month. So I mean, he would be 18 in less than a month. So if it stayed in the juvenile court, the maximum sentence that they can sentence him to would be 20 years. Yeah. And he would be eligible for an opportunity to be resentenced or paroled. Okay. Whereas if they get him on a first degree, you know, it's 30 years. And even if it's aggravated manslaughter, that's 35 years. Okay. That he's going to be looking at before he'd be eligible, you know, at that point.
But two victims. So it should be consecutive.
Well, they never do it consecutive. They always do.
Oh, come on.
I'm just telling you, they're going to do it. They're going to do it.
No, they're not going to merge. You don't get a free one. You don't get a free red rum.
It's not a free one. You're both sentenced to that. And it's just the way it works. I mean,
I would scream at the judge.
Unfortunately, I mean, look, I hope they don't do that.
Yeah,
But more often than not, that might be the plea arrangement. I don't think the case is going to trial. I think this kid's going to want to have this kid is such a pariah, and that giving him the opportunity to get that soapbox is going to be such a detrimental thing to any type of defense he could possibly have. That they're going to get a psych in there. They're going to be talking about this kid that he's got the inferiority complex. He's got a persecution complex.
Yeah.
He's got the he's the.
But none of that is mitigating. None of that is mitigating. That's to me, that's almost aggravating those factors.
It's not mitigating, but it does have an effect.
So clear this up for me, because as an observer, I'm not a guy who partakes in trials like you gentlemen have, but have watched a lot of them. I thought and read about them. I thought it was almost always concurrent on sentencing.
Not always. It can be consecutive.
No,
but isn't it the majority?
It's a big deal.
I had a case where my guy was sentenced to consecutive, not concurrent.
Yeah, they merge. Sometimes as a deal, but here you're talking about 2 lives being taken. So if you do concurrency, then he's not being punished for taking one of those lives. To me that's egregious. Gringa, good to see you, Tangents, and chat. Viva Italia. This defendant creeps me out. I think he's creeping out everyone. This one, this is one of the real creepy ones. He's not going to be, we've seen a little bit of an uptick in people defending some of these defendants. No one's defending this kid. No one's going to defend this kid. Thank you so much, Gringo. Appreciate it. Kay, hi, Vinny Allen Jones. He's sending much love from Memphis.
Hey, Kay.
Jonesy, you were down in Memphis. You did a live show down there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a live show from the Elvis Studios at Graceland to mark the anniversary of his death and the vigil that they do there. And also, I just really dug Memphis. A lot of great history, a lot of great music history. Very cool place.
The former members of the Legals are now residents of Memphis. So
was it the music scene that drove them there?
Yes, absolutely.
That and a Greyhound bus. Back to the video.
Yes.
Okay.
No, they we didn't make a lot of money in the band thing, so it was actually not the Greyhound bus. It was 3 Schwinns.
3 Schwinns.
I'm going to let you all know this right now. I don't plan to go anywhere anytime soon regarding streaming. But again, if I do end up taking a hiatus, I'm telling you guys why. So.
And when he says hiatus, he means 35 to life.
Yeah.
I really think New Jersey needs to do a better job addressing this mental health crisis, because I've been through way too much. I'm a nice kid. I'm 17 years old with a good family by my side. And these allegations that have been ruining everything.
I think he set a 5-minute timer for his talk, and I think that's when it just went off.
It did sound kind of like a timer as opposed to an alert, didn't it?
Yeah. So I'm going to take 5 minutes for this, and he set a timer for 5 minutes. This dude's out of his mind.
Is a shame. But again, I'm going to leave it at that. I really think you all should be a lot nicer to each other. If anything happens, I'm going to give you all some advice.
Oh, good.
All right? If you get bullied and ridiculed in school about, stuff that people hate you, I would tell your counselor immediately. And, before the shit gets out of hand, you got to address all these things, because I'll tell you what, the amount of bullying that I've been put through in the past has been absolutely absurd. And I'm going to be honest with you, the state is not doing a right job addressing this mental health crisis. And I hope Shitterelli can fix this shit. Okay? So that is all I'm going to say about this whole thing. I'm not going to talk about it anymore on the advice of loved ones and others. We're going to play co-op with Evan. And we're only going to do one game. And depending upon the next steps, I'll probably be live tomorrow, because here's the thing. I was originally going to start a school today.
No idea he's going to be arrested.
He's delusional in that regard, right? Because he's so calm. I mean, I can't put myself in a situation because I would never do such a thing. But I would not be calm. I would be terrified because
This is sociopathic.
they're coming to take me away.
I'm sure that Jack Citarelli is very happy to get that endorsement. He's one of the 2 candidates running for governor in New Jersey, and he's the Republican candidate, and it's endorsed by this guy.
Why do you do that, Al?
Well, no, but he's endorsed by. I'm just saying. I only bring it up.
To a political thing, and then
I only
the mods got to deal with politics in the chat. Why do you do that? Why would you do that to the moderators?
It was a comment regarding so that people understand what he meant by who Citarelli was. He's one of the 2 people running for the governor in New Jersey.
You could have left it at that.
I didn't say I'm for him or against him. I happen to like Jack Citarelli. I know him. He's a very nice guy. Okay.
And you probably had dinner with him last night, right, Jones?
No, I did not. I did not have dinner with him last night.
No, but
you sent a bottle of wine over to his table.
I think his mother used to babysit him.
He's not from Bergen County, but I mean, I have been at dinners where he's been at. So
exactly.
I have nothing negative to say about him as a person. I think he's a very nice guy. But I wanted to bring it up that he's putting that out there, which is also a very bizarre thing. To be talking about that, as a candidate who's running, to be bringing his name up, it's just this guy is just off the charts in just in bizarro world.
I think he's sociopathic to be in this state, be this oblivious to everything. When he finishes this, he starts a new live stream so he can play his game with his friend. I didn't watch it. I don't know if his friend came on with him or not to play the game, but then he played a game, and that's the last of his live streams that I saw. He thinks he's live streaming the next day. The next day he's getting arrested.
Yeah, he's delusional about that. I was bullied in school, Like
who? I'll get him, Jonesy. Who?
It happens, the kids who grabbed my knit hat and played monkey in the middle or made fun of my Fonzie shirt or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And, I realize that a lot of kids are under a lot of pressure with that kind of stuff these days, but it built character. It was kind of like the same as being a Met fan. It taught me it made me what I am now, and I'm happy with what I am now.
And we love you, Art Shamsky, who's still alive. That's
there was someone who did an attempting bullying of me, and in junior high school, you have mandatory study hall as a 7th grader, but he was I think he was an 8th grader.
Isn't it always that way?
Yeah.
The 8th grader.
And then I'll take this time to say I'm sorry. I apologize.
So he starts picking on me until he finds out who one of my best friends is. He's known as the Truck. And he reminds me of the
chin.
Yeah, did you ever see that movie where the guy goes, "Leave the kid alone"?
My Bodyguard, right?
Yeah, My Bodyguard. Leave the kid alone. Once he found out, oh no, he was really nice to me. Really nice to me.
That movie, if I'm not mistaken, I think Chris Makepeace was the kid who had been beaten up, and then the guy who was his bodyguard was the guy that you see in Full Metal Jacket. Who played the psychopath with the machine gun and the thing. A huge guy, big guy.
Leave the kid alone. All right, let's get back to this.
Well,
kid.
not Vincent D'Onofrio.
No. The Vincent D'Onofrio didn't get past boot camp, if you remember.
Yeah, but he did have the gun.
Yeah.
Well, but that was on a machine gun.
Yeah.
With all this hoorah happening, it kind of screwed that up. So I plan to be live tomorrow. I don't know about Evan, but again, you're going to be seeing more lives coming in the future. And I will address this whole thing hopefully in the next coming days.
So is Evan in the room?
What's that?
Is Evan a virtual friend, or is he in the room? Because he always looks to his left when
Well,
he
he could be on the screen.
Yeah, he looks to his left as though Evan, like he's acknowledging Evan.
Yeah, I mean, it could be made up. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy, right?
Well, by virtual, I meant like, you know, a video game buddy as opposed to like a physical person he could hang out with.
Right.
Somebody in like Iowa or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I think it is. I don't think it's someone who's around the block.
The comment with regards to Full Metal Jacket, Adam Baldwin was the guy who plays the bully that was protecting Chris Makepeace, and he was the character Animal in Full Metal Jacket.
Right.
And he's not a Baldwin brother.
No, he's not a Baldwin brother.
Okay.
Platoon was a much better non-movie to go on a tangent, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Say anything, you are more than welcome to. You don't want to comment anything else?
Evan's like,
yeah. Hey, is there anybody out there?
It's a very sad. Say it again. That is our goal for the future. Again, we've been live for the past 5 years. We've developed a very good relationship, a very good friendship. And I plan to keep doing this as long as I can. As a huge baseball fan, I want to entertain you guys. I love gaming so much. This is my safe spot, gaming. If I wasn't doing this right now, I don't know what I'd be doing. But
now we have a whole generation of people like that, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
So like every generation has their thing, right?
Dungeons and Dragons was before that.
Well, I'll go back to like the 50s, right? It was first we had rock and roll, the devil's music, right? That's going to destroy you. We got to stop these kids from listening to that rock and roll music. When we were growing up, it was always like, oh, you watch too much TV. You watch too much TV. Then it's like now the kids are like, you're playing too many video games, or you know, you walk around with your Walkman on all the time. It's like the older generation always looks at what the younger generation is doing, and somehow that is the source of the evil of the down. And it's not. It's just it's always going to be something else. Like now it went from, well, now it's a combination of video games, gamers, and your social media cell phones, right? But we're always blaming the other things. We're not realizing that, you know, bad things have always happened. They'll continue to happen. I'm not a big believer in cause and effect, that like the devil's music makes you do something, but maybe someone who is prone to do something might be drawn to that. So it's not cause and effect. It's like association more so than cause and effect. Like the big thing for us was you can't watch all that violence on TV. Like I did nothing but watch violence on TV. Cop shows. I love cop shows, Jonesy.
Oh,
Barnaby Jones.
What was more violent than cartoons?
Cartoons.
Yes.
The most violent.
Right. Like
yes.
And
get smashed with an anvil and survive.
Yeah. If
you stick a stick of dynamite in a dog's butt, it blows up and you get 5 dogs.
Yeah. And the arguments back then are the same arguments now, that it was like desensitizing, and these kids are watching all this violence, so of course they're going to be more violent. No, they've always been violent.
I hear you on that, but the old man in me just can't accept, because I am like I am judgmental of the younger generation and their social media, the phone. Like you see a couple of kids, they look like they're on a date, but they're each on like an individual phone. The old man in me, like when I wanted to ask a girl out or something, I had to walk up to her and, be nervous and say, hey, do you want to go out? It's like, I can't accept the new thing that we're blaming. I think this time we're right, us elders.
this time we're right. So it wasn't the devil's music.
It wasn't rock and
wasn't
roll
the
or
violent.
TV.
It wasn't the violence on television. It's the video games. This kid, by the way, the video games he's playing were baseball.
Yeah, that was his.
He's not even playing the violent ones.
No.
What was in the old days? They had the little board game that you would play for baseball, where you would keep stats. Keith Hernandez.
Stratomatic. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the problems run deeper than the media that the younger generation is consuming, and I think it's just things just change. The problems are the same, and it's just human. I think it's human nature more than anything, or whatever, the way people are wired. This kid obviously wired differently. Like you can tell by the way, to me, right away, his tone and the way he spoke. That just wait, there's something's a little off with this guy. Like if this guy came over, my house and was friends with one of my children, at the time when they were this age, I'd be like, what's the deal with this kid? Like what's going on with him?
You also see that he's trying to impress you with his intelligence.
Yeah.
There's a problem with the psychological thing going on in the world, and then saying what's going to happen with the new governor, what's going to happen with this, to make it sound like he is so intelligent, he's so above these other people, and that he's actually talking down to you.
Yeah.
As a result of his lofted position as a gamer on his little TikTok station, which is just frightening to me. But you're right though about the situation that they always seem to try to pin it on something.
Yeah.
It's never just the fact that some people are just evil. It's or the devil made me do it. They have to find something that is in the place of the devil. And the music thing was the most incredible. I mean, when you take a look at Columbine and all those other things that they it's the music of Ozzy Osbourne. It's the music of these slash metal bands and this stuff, the other thing. It's not.
No,
it's not. It's something that's wrong up here. And that's, this is a perfect example. This guy is driving a car and he decides to take two people.
SUV.
Driving a vehicle and takes two people's lives.
Let's take a listen to his conclusion here.
But again, I want to make this very, very clear. I do wish my sincerest condolences to those two girls that were the victims of an absolute senseless tragedy, and my heart goes out to their families at this time.
And then he ends the stream and he starts a new stream and plays a game with or without his friend. I don't remember.
But even that line of my condolences to the girl. First of all, you can't give condolences to two people who are no longer alive. Okay, you can give condolences to the family about the fact that.
But he knows their names. It's not
I know, and he doesn't mention that. It's such an offensive. 22 minutes of offensive. Yeah. You know what? I'm glad he did this. I really am. Because you know what? It's going to make it so much easier for the prosecutor now. It's going to make it so much easier for law enforcement.
So these things definitely get played in court, right?
Oh, you kidding me?
What you say can and will be used against you. So
yeah,
if there's anything that the prosecution believes is inculpatory, they'll use it.
Or showing demeanor.
I think they'll use the fact. And I think they'll use the fact that he did just go on the stream and play a game after all of this.
Yeah, I think it's more the demeanor and lack of remorse, obviously, if he, indeed did these things that he's alleged to have done.
Anita Mayu Wilson, creepy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Venton and Jonesy, history has taught us about a lot of creepy guys.
War to civil rights and all the revolution fights. World War I and World War II. Hell always knows who is who. It's this day in history. This day in history. History. Now let's listen to his story.
October 3rd, 1995, in this day in true crime history, O.J. Simpson acquitted after a 252-day trial.
Wow.
So-
Within hours. Let go within hours for
Within
a
hours.
trial that took months.
In-
9
in-
months.
interestingly, before I found out that this was the same day, I woke up in the middle of the night. My mind wanders as it does. And I started thinking back to the moment that I saw the verdict and my reaction at Court TV.
Where were you?
I was at Court TV. I was locked in my studio room, and the owner of Court TV came into the offices and told everybody, "Look, when the verdict comes in, I don't want any emotional reaction. I don't want anybody reporting that we have any that we're not
Dog in the race.
black and white news." And I didn't hear him say that, so I burst through my door and walked into the middle of the room, and I shouted out, "Holy S word!" And everybody just stared at me with blank looks on their faces. And I thought about that this morning before I knew that today was the day. Maybe subconsciously I knew. And I apologize, Al. Go ahead.
No problem. That's the
Al,
day.
where were you?
Well, I was actually in the courthouse in Bergen County, and I went into the chambers of, I believe it was Judge Fitzpatrick, and he had a television in there, and there was about 30 of us watching it on TV. And
So
that's
I
when
was-
we heard about it.
I was working at the firm Corella, Byrne, Bain, Gilfillan, Checky, Stewart, and Olstein, and my apartment was like 3 minutes from work. So about 5 of us jumped in the car, went to my apartment as soon as we heard that there was a verdict, and we watched it live, and I was shocked, and then I called my mother.
Yeah, that was shocking.
So, Al, what was the reaction in the room full of lawyers and judges?
Everyone was dumbfounded. But then, I believe, that, I mean, there was a bunch of criminal attorneys in there, and, and they were, listen, you know what? The defense did a great job on this, and this. And
They did.
Right down the line, they were dissecting what went on and what they thought were problems with the prosecution's case and things from the beginning. That it was, that subsequently, as it all been pointed out in the documentaries that have been done and in the television drama series that have been done. But on this day, it was 1995. In the Revolutionary War, on this day, General Washington in 1775 issues a general order to ban all gambling within the Continental Army. Okay.
I bet they didn't do it.
Well,
I'll take that.
that's a good bet on that one. He also received a letter from a Dr. Ben Church, who was the U.S. Surgeon General at the time, and also a traitor who was sending secrets and troop movements to the British. And then he wrote a letter to Washington saying, listen, I didn't really do that to give them information. I did that to make them scared about attacking certain places because we had a lot of troops there. So Washington didn't believe it. He subsequently ended up going to prison and was released from this country and disappeared somewhere and died in the Caribbean. Now,
Al, on this day in history, Vinny read one of my comments, says Andrew White.
okay, I'll put that down for next year. So also in this history, this day in history in 1863, in light of the tremendous victory of Gettysburg in July, Lincoln proclaims the official holiday of Thanksgiving, which will be on November 26th, 1863. This followed up a general order that was given by George Washington in 1789, in which Washington had declared that November 26th should be a day of thanks for the United States, but it never became a formalized order. And so they did it that year, and then they didn't do it subsequent. Lincoln then made the official holiday of what we know as Thanksgiving. In 1967.
1 second, Pussycat TV. I was living in Greece, oblivious to the OJ verdict in Greece.
Oh, I thought it was talking about the 1863 order of George Washington. I mean, the Commander-in-Chief, Abraham Lincoln. 1967, Woody Guthrie, the godfather of folk music, dies at Creedmoor Psychiatric Hospital in Queens. He was 55 years of age. He has also spent time in New Jersey at Greystone Psychiatric Hospital, where he had a meeting with Bob Dylan, who came all the way from Minnesota to meet him with Pete Seeger in 1981.
That was in the movie. I saw the Bob Dylan movie on one of
Yeah.
my flights this year. Yeah.
And that ended up, that was a very, very monumental moment for Bob Dylan. And at the time, Woody Guthrie couldn't even talk
Wow.
because of the terrible diseases that he was fighting, and that was also the mental disaster he was going through. 1981.
Wait, Ashley Bouchard was in the womb for the OJ verdict.
What? And what was her reaction?
Did you have cable?
You only go so far.
Did you have cable?
1981, May's prison hunger strike is called off. This was in Belfast. The IRA launched a hunger strike because the British had put horrendous, harsh rules in place. And Bobby Sands is the first one who dies, and then 9 more would die from starvation as a result of that. Finally, the church got involved, and it ended it. And then finally, in 1992, and I'm sure everybody remembers this, Sinead O'Connor on Saturday Night Live did a song, an a cappella song that was a Bob Marley song called War, and then held up a picture of John Paul II, and then said that fight the real enemy, and tore the picture up in front of a absolutely silent audience. And then the phones went off the hook at Saturday Night Live. And then the next week, Joe Pesci was the host, and he did a whole thing. His whole monologue was about how upset he was that that happened. So that was on this day in 1992.
Frank Sinatra was also very upset by such, and released
so was Madonna.
Statements.
And Madonna?
Madonna said that she could not believe that she would do something about a person that so many people loved. But the Sinead O'Connor was fighting the fact that she had been part of this the Magdalene Asylum as a youth, and this was a place that they put wayward girls, and she was there as a teenager. And 1 year after this event in Saturday Night Live, they started digging the grounds and found mass graves of kids, babies that had been basically slaughtered at this asylum.
By the Pope?
Well, it wasn't by the Pope.
Okay.
But she blamed the Pope for not allowing to not taking the lead about looking into it, because he didn't. She claimed that he did not, and that was what she was fighting. I don't agree with it. I think the Pope did do some. I mean, the man's a canonized saint now, so I mean, I know that he did.
The man's a saint.
The man's a saint, for God's sakes, and he did a lot of great things. But she was upset about what was going on in Ireland, and basically, it did turn out that she was somewhat right about what was going on at that asylum.
All right. Gen X, reminding everyone to follow Al on X, Twitter, another place, and drop a hello in the comments. He will reply. Gen X, of course, one member of, the best in the business, right, guys? Of our
the mod.
very famous Mod Squad.
The Mod Squad, keeping order in the chat. The Mod Squad, spotting trolls who attack. Oh, Gen X is ready and on the scene. Frankie Biggs making sure they're keeping it clean. And Jennifer Soubey telling haters don't be so mean. And Ashley Bouchard on top of our Facebook screen. We are the Mod Squad, cleaning up the mess. The Mod Squad, simply the best. The Mod Squad.
Give it up.
The sooner the letter.
That's always my favorite part of the show.
That's a great song. That's a great.
So the reason we had to start early today is because we have to end early today because Al's going to court.
Yeah, that's true. I hope I get acquitted.
Now you're going to real court or virtual court?
Now it's going to be a virtual court. It's a real court, but a virtual court.
So you get dressed up for virtual court. You know, there's a filter where it'll dress you. So you don't even have to get dressed.
Yeah, no. But anyway, you see the filter that we use to show this like so-called court back room. I don't really know how to do that, and so it's just easier to wear a shirt, wear a tie, wear a jacket, and wear a suit.
So what does one use as one's background when you're appearing in virtual court? Because, you know, everything's important, right?
I don't have a background on when I'm in regular court.
I mean, do you have your bookshelf or?
Well, it depends. All right. So if it's a court I haven't been in before and it is judges that don't know me, I will be in the same room that I do court TV, which is the office with the backdrop of all the bookcases and stuff like that, because I inevitably will give a comment from the judge and then gives me a chance to kind of break the ice with somebody who I don't know. But if it is judges that I do know, I'll be in my conference room, and it will just be a backlog with just a couple of Civil War pictures behind me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, what I find interesting, you could have a lot of fun with that, but you could get in trouble.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why I asked, because everything is important, right?
Like, you could put like record like they do in the old like Adam 12s, like it's you're driving down the street.
Oh, those were great. You know, actually, the lady who voiced them was actually a real dispatcher from the Los Angeles. Yeah, they used the real Los Angeles Police Department's dispatcher to voice the TV show.
All right. Well, before we run out of time, folks, I want to remind you that we have a great stock of true crime merchandise. It's true crime merch from the Vinny Originale shop.
Shirt and a hoodie, a beach towel and a mug. A new design from Vinny is better than a drug. True crime merch, you know he did it. True crime merch, mark the exhibit. True crime merch, we hate Casey. True crime merch from Vinny Originale. Our tangent stuff is great, unlike any others. Buy it now, don't wait. Perfect for all you mothers. True crime merch, allegedly. True crime merch, stepped on a bee. True crime merch, it's not free. True crime merch from Vinny Originale.
All right. Fantastic. So
we're coming up with some more designs, Vin. I've been working on some stuff.
Some new designs. Excellent.
New designs.
Excellent. Oh my goodness. When it rains, it pours here on the program, folks. It's just amazing. You know, we get to a point of the show. We're getting ready to say goodbye, and
Thank you, April Diaz. Have a great day today. Thank you, April Diaz. We appreciate everything you say. We all know she's a great fan, and we know the kind words she has. We always love to hear from you. Thank you, April Diaz.
all right, April Diaz with a comment. Thank you so much, April. Weekend all random question. After a trial is over, can the judge say what they really think?
No, the judge won't do that.
They're not allowed to?
I don't know if they're allowed to. I just think that it is something that would not be proper judicial decorum.
Yeah.
Like, Vin, I want to ask you a question. How did you get Bad Bunny to do that song for us? That was really good. I mean, that's great. I love it. Can't wait to see him at Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now L.R. Reeves wants a margarita.
I had one yesterday. Well, actually, I had two yesterday. Well, all right, three. But I mean, it was fun.
But who's counting?
Yeah.
5 o'clock somewhere. All right, folks, we got to wrap things up because Al's got to get to court. He's got client obligations here.
Yep.
He's got to speak to the judge. So where can folks find you, Al, after your court appearance?
I'm allegedly, I'm back Monday night on Closing Arguments with Vinny from 8 to 9. Okay, looking forward to seeing him back again. And you can get me on X, okay, at Legal Weapon 3. And when you do comments on YouTube, I do answer and I do respond. So we'll see you all then. So hasta la vista, los Tangenistas.
Those Tangenistas. Jonesy, where can folks find the radio legend?
Well, first, let me say I look forward to seeing both of you back on Court TV this Monday night. And you can find where my radio programs can be heard on my website. It's the best place, glennjones.net. Glenn is spelled with one N because, as Vinny would say, they couldn't afford the second N.
Before we go, I had one extra bonus thing I just want to share with everyone. Is that okay? Do you have time, Al, for a quick bonus?
Yes, I do.
It'll be very quick. But as you know, I was in Italy. And I just wanted to share this with you because I wanted to share it when we did the Italian live stream, but I couldn't access it through my phone. So let me get to it now.
And we did the Italian live stream in English.
In English.
See.
So, oh, wait a minute. I gotta cancel. Where is this? Present video file. Oh, is it not there? Okay. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can access it. I thought I could, but I can't. Okay. It'll be next time. Next time, some home movies from Italy.
Oh, good. All right. So that'll just leave you guys with bated breath, waiting for the next tangent.
What is bated breath? Like, what is?
I know the expression, but what is bated breath?
What is bated breath? What is that?
Like almost, you know.
Like I know what, but what is baited? Like, why is it baited?
I don't know. Maybe it's just you don't have a mint.
Maybe you have maybe you swallowed a lure.
You don't have a mint, and it tastes like bait.
I don't even know how to spell it. Is it spelled like bait? Like you're getting
bait?
It's
spelled BAITED, bated breath.
Yeah, where does it come from? It comes from the word abate, meaning to lessen, slow down, or reduced. So it's reduced breath.
I told you it was like that. I did the visual for everyone.
Now I would think
I know bated breath, but I didn't know what baited was.
See, now it doesn't make any sense to me because I would think you're waiting with bated. You're waiting with deep breaths. You're excited.
Yeah.
You know?
And to say it, patient for those of you who like Rocky Horror.
Ketchup commercials. For those of you who like ketchup commercials.
You can watch me every night on Court TV, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, closing arguments with Vinny Politan, all the big legal stories of the day and true crime stories. And then from 9 to 10, Vinny Politan Investigates. We take a deep dive into one of these true crime mysteries or investigations that are taking place. So that's where we are.
Ponder this, Tangenistas. Ketchup or catsup?
It's ketchup.
Think about it. Just think about it.
It's almost as profound as park on driveways, drive on parkways.
Yeah, but these are the kind of things that get like 72 replies for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. We will do it.
Thank you.
Again. Say goodnight, Jonesy.
Good night, Jonesy.
See all of you in court. Somebody say tangent, tangent. Somebody say podcast, podcast. Tangent, tangent. Podcast, podcast. This is the Tangent Podcast. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for all your support. We are the Tangent True Crime Podcast. We'll see all of you in court. Somebody say tangent.